Welcome, my beautiful souls, and welcome, my beautiful Capricorns. This is your June 2025 reading. This is going to be for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Many of you are intuitively guided. Thank you for paying attention to your intuition. Um, as many of you know, I read through our spirit guides, so they kind of know you're already going to be here if they haven't like nudged you. You could certainly be in love with the Capricorn. And if you're here checking up on a Capricorn, same thing. Know that your guides know you're here. So you'll probably get some messages for yourself. The best way to know is just to open up your intuition, let go of control. When I do a reading, it's like a story to me. And it takes a moment for the story to unfold, but it always does unfold. Um, so, think of it as like your story, your book, your movie. This is what I'm reading for. Um, so you'll find yourself in here. There's a couple things I want to just tell you about for June for you. So Venus is going to enter Taurus on, I think it's June 6th. And for you, it's going to bring emotional harmony. It should bring you emotional harmony. It's a time where you're really enhancing your natural sensuality. And it's interesting because you were the 10th sign that I've done for June. And there's only two signs where it talked about sensuality. And that was Scorpio and you. So some of you may be connected. But anyways, yeah, so I was going to bring out that natural sensuality within you. You may have a desire to pursue new romantic connections, you know, relationships. I don't feel like you are trying to pursue anything just for. I think if you're pursuing, then you're looking for, the right one. Some of you, I feel like you have an opportunity to reinforce existing relationships. I do feel like this is a time where, you just want to be completely honest with yourself. Um, because we are in this last year of a 9-year cycle. So, what do I want to bring along for the new cycle that's opening up? And what do I want to let go of? Um, Venus in Taurus also tells us that, how do I say this? That gestures versus words are really the best way to go. So actions will speak louder than words, and actions are really what is needed this month. So just keep that in mind. And I feel like some of it's planetary, but actions speak louder than words. And then last but not least, these are just some of the things that came to me as I was pre-shuffling your cards. I feel like your leadership abilities are going to shine. And I do feel like other people are going to notice that. So that feels very good for your money, but also for like those who have their own business, like that take charge type of attitude, but very open at the same time. Like I feel no restrictions. So you're going to be noticed. I feel romantically, but also financially. Those that want to, let's say, why can't I think of the word? You know why? Because when I start a reading, I just let my mind go and I open up my intuition. So sometimes it's hard to figure out the word. But let's just say they're like, it just feels like the spotlight's going to be on you as it relates to your career. And really, any way that you want to take that, but knowing that you have these leadership abilities, whether it's for yourself and your own business or whether you're working for the man or woman, people are going to notice. People are going to notice you. So I feel like this is going to be a pretty good month. Um, oh, What was I gonna say? Hmm, I don't know. So let's go ahead and get into your reading. With all that being said, we're gonna allow Mother Mary to open up your reading with her words of wisdom. We will use the Gilded Tarot to clarify and really to go deeper. Again, that's how I would love for you to look at your reading like your movie. And it is your movie. We are going to use the Tarot Dreams for the main spread, and we will use the major arcanas for like bullet points. I do want to give a shout out to my granddaughter Faith, who's Capricorn on December 26th, the day after Christmas. And oh, I just put a scratch on my table. All right, so just let me just calm. Just gonna do a little deep breathing. Open myself up. Certainly feel free to ask your guides to give you signs of confirmation. A lot of times in a reading, I'll get goosebumps. I definitely pay attention to the numbers. By the way, I have a feeling this is a special little message for you. I have a feeling you're gonna. I don't know why I'm saying I have a feeling. You're gonna start seeing. You're probably already seeing. But I feel like numbers are going to be important for you this month. Like if you see 1111, make a wish. But if you see like triple digits, like 333, 444, stop. And sometimes I feel like just stop, think about what's going on. Was there something on your mind? And if so, I would Google like an angel message for 333 or 444, whatever it may be, because I feel like these are messages that your angels are trying to get to you at that time. So instead of just like, oh, 333, cool. Which it's pretty cool. But for you, I feel like there are special angel messages. So your spiritual team, your spirit guides, would definitely be sending you signs all month long. But your reading, I feel like your angels are also sending you some special messages. So just pay attention, if you will, completely up to you. Um, and even if you miss like a message, I feel like it'll be sent again. So, with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and bring down your lid. There we go. We're going to start with Mother Mary. Even though everything's pre-shuffled, I do like to give it a shuffle with you here. So, Mother Mary, Capricorn, those intuitively guided. Whispering words of wisdom, let it be. Trust, trust. I know that God, in His infinite wisdom and love, is answering my prayers right now. Trust, like faith. And then look at this miracle. Well, hello, answered prayer. Miracle. I trust in God to know the perfect solution to this situation. So trust and then miracle. Wow. That feels very powerful to me. I definitely feel like some prayers are being answered, some, let's say, affirmations are coming back to you. I do feel that there may be a need to keep a very open mind because, I don't feel like a miracle. Well, yeah, sometimes it can just be a miracle, but I get this feeling that this miracle is well earned, and coming in its divine timing. But I do feel like, certain seeds that have been planted, they're now coming to fruition. So, and what I mean by seeds are your intentions, like the intentions you put out to the universe, or even what you pray. It's like it's being answered, but wow, in the most beautiful of ways. So, trust and miracle. We'll put that right there. All right, let's bring in the Gilded Tarot. Or, I'm sorry, the Major Arcanas. Give him a cut. All right. Okay, we open with the moon. Um, Part of Pisces, ruler of Cancer. But I want to say it feels like a full moon. Is there a total lunar eclipse or a total solar eclipse? There may be going on. But the moon can speak about uncertainties. They can also talk about very dreamy type energy. Some of you, I feel like this is your dreams. You may be receiving some, let's just say, answers within your dreams. Interesting. Chariot. So kind of double Cancer on the board. This speaks about your potential, though, and it really represents unlimited potential. You can see the rainbow behind him. Now, the important thing about the chariot, though, is it is moved by your intentions. Even though this person's holding the reins to the horse, it's really your intentions to tell the chariot where to go. So, if you believe in yourself and you're putting out positive intentions, I feel like hang on to your hat. Again, we already have miracle out. Some of you may have been dreaming about something and then putting it into action, into motion. We'll see. The chariot does need balance. Um, really to be unlimited, and that's the balance of the feminine and the masculine within ourselves, the light and the dark, which we all have. We have the tower. Well, I don't think that's what you're heading towards, but it is here. So let's see why. I feel like if anything, this tower would be you ending something. Someone could have fallen from grace and you might have just had enough. Tower does speak about disruption. It's interesting, it's like if you're not giving this tower, it feels like a little bit of a interruption in this unlimited potential. So tell us more. Tell us more. I also get the sense of really interesting. I was just going to say this sense of really trusting yourself. We have the Hermit, which kind of makes sense sitting next to the Tower because we're in the year of the Hermit, and it is about final reflection. But this is really with the spiritual lens. Sometimes it can speak about going through the dark night of the soul, something, somewhat difficult happens. I often feel in the hermit's energy, sometimes we're brought down to our knees, and that may be what the tower is. But then that's what causes us to seek the light. And that's exactly what the hermit figures out. Like, I am the light. I can save whatever it is I'm trying to save. But this is really about your spirituality opening up. I often feel the hermit is a natural healer. I may not know this going in, like this may be something that I start to realize as my spirituality starts to open. And then the high priest is your intuition. So, whatever the tower is, even if it's, let's say, something you weren't expecting, I feel like what it did is help connect you more to your spirituality. The Hermit's Lantern is illuminating your intuition, and your intuition is mirroring the moon. So again, I feel like, well, let me also say that I feel for some of you like you're receiving epiphanies, ideas, or even special messages, and they may be happening at night, but it feels like it's during the day that I take action. You know, it can be during your dreams, but I also feel this sense of when I'm sitting, like, after like a long day of work, come home, relax. And when I'm relaxing is when I start receiving ideas, epiphanies. Let's just say that you're unsatisfied with something in your life right now. I feel like your guides are helping you, well, maybe to change directions if that's what you want. Like I feel like the tower has definitely already happened. And I do feel like the tower is what caused you really to open up on a spiritual level. Again, you had to go through some difficulties, but through that, I do feel like you found the light. Not only the light, but your intuition feels probably stronger than ever. Maybe you started to follow a few of those signs and you start to realize like, whoa, wait a minute, and it's making you believe in yourself. Getting that chariot, it's your intentions to tell that chariot where to go. Some of you are like, well, I don't know yet. And that's okay because again, we're in the year of the hermit. But we should look at it as like the final reflection, but really trusting your intuition because your intuition is really speaking here. Again, no matter how it reaches you, whether it be at night, whether it be through your dreams, no matter how it reaches you, I feel like what it brings is real change. Definitely feels like you are evolving. But maybe some hard lessons, or hard situations is really what brought you to this state. So in a way, there may be a day I go back and I thank the tower. I know when you're in it, it's like, you want me to thank the tower? But I feel like as you overcome it, you just might, because it may put you on a path that you really didn't expect, like the road less traveled. All right, let's bring in the Tarot of Dreams and let's go deeper. We through this we'll know why everything is presenting itself. The chariot is reminding me of your leadership ability. The moon may be your sensuality, your dreaminess coming to the forefront. All right, let me just change the way I'm sitting. I always sit on my legs, and then lately my feet go numb. All right, wow. Hey, interesting. A little chaotic, but we're going to take it, and we're going to take it the way it came out. So we're going to start with face up. Four of Wands. Well, hello, marriage card. This is commitment. Seven of Swords, though. Okay. Six of Swords, so you're not taking it anymore. There's something you're not taking anymore. Interesting how the Six of Swords is coming under the Tower. Six of Swords is moving on. And what are you moving on from? You're moving on from something that's toxic. Well, the Seven of Swords right next to it. Ugh, that's really untrustworthy energy. They really call it the thief in the night. And there's the nighttime connected to it. But in the same breath, you're really claiming, you know, you're reclaiming yourself. It's like you are saying no more to something. The Seven of Swords may be attached to what could have brought you to your knees, but it has you then moving on, letting the toxicity live in the past, not in your current or present or future energy. All right, well, let's keep going. Interesting. Okay. So this is the way they came. And even though I wasn't going to read reversals, it's just the way they're coming out. I feel like I have to. All right. So here's your major arcana. And, I kind of love this image because this person feels that they're stuck, right? They're in this cage. It's like the devil's influence. It's illusionary. I feel like I'm stuck. The door is wide open. You're not stuck. Maybe this is what some have been reflecting on. It really is about freeing yourself. But I mean freeing yourself to be yourself. We have the Page of Cups. And then we have the wheel, and it's interesting because the wheel's in reverse. Now, it doesn't really stop the wheel. Well, in a way, it is like putting a wedge in the wheel. So maybe it stops it a little bit. But I get the sense that, some of you may be with someone that, I don't know. I just get the sense that, or maybe you were with someone who, you may have given like a special title to. Um, but it feels like, again, there's like untrustworthy energy here. We definitely know there's toxicity with the Six of Swords coming under the Tower. It definitely feels like some of you felt like you've been stuck in place, but the Hermit will help illuminate that for you. And then the Wheel in reverse under the Marriage card or the Commitment card. So this could be something, I hate to say this, but it could be ending. But listen, if it's ending, and it really is because of the Seven of Swords and toxicity, then in a way, is it not kind of doing you a favor? You may have felt stuck for a while. Six of Swords really gives you freedom. Six of Swords temporarily is difficult energy because a lot of people are uncomfortable with change. And it is change. But it's also the clearing of toxicity. Whether it be my own thoughts, maybe I thought I was stuck, or maybe I was connected to someone that I really couldn't trust. In the Seven Swords, no matter what the energy is, I feel like it keeps me in a state of worry because I don't know what someone's doing. I don't always think that it's someone cheating. The meaning of the card is deception and envy. But I don't always feel like, just somebody cheating. But if I worry about that, if they give me reasons to worry about that, well, then it's almost like they are. So I feel like you are making some changes, you know. I feel like you're realizing that if you felt stuck, you're not stuck. And I feel like the answer's coming through your spirituality and your intuition. This Page of Cups is mirroring the Four of Wands. Yet your intuition is illuminating it. Could certainly talk about your inner child. And I'm just going to say, I don't know why I'm feeling this, but I feel like, I don't know if you're dealing with someone or, be honest with yourself also, because I feel a sense of immaturity. But I don't know if this person would, like if they just know any better. Hmm. All right. Well, let's keep going. And you know what's interesting, Capricorn, is when I pre-shuffle your decks, the first thing I do is go through the decks I'm going to use and make sure everything is in the upright. So when it comes in reverse, then I know it was meant to be in reverse. Um, but let's just say that I feel that some of you may be connected to, well, or were connected to someone, again, that maybe you wanted it to work out. But the wheel in reverse almost makes me feel like, but this wasn't your forevermore partner. Doesn't mean that, listen, if we never move away from it, it can be forevermore, but do I want it to be forevermore? That's the thing. Because the Seven of Swords and you feeling trapped, like, do I really want that to be forevermore? And I guess only you can answer that. That's free will. All right, well, let's keep going. Some of you may have no clue. Let's just say you're in a relationship right now and it is difficult. And maybe you do feel trapped. But then you are bold enough to really look at this energy, reflect upon it, because that's what the Hermit wants you to do. Look at that, the Tower under the Seven of Swords. Well, I think I just answered my own question. No more, no more, no more, no more. Under the Seven of Swords, the Tower. The Tower mirroring the Chariot. What does it feel like? Movement. After the fact. I can't help but see that there's been some energy of, I don't know, untrustworthy energy. Maybe lies. I don't know. Um, but I just feel like you're done with that energy. Why? Because I feel, it almost feels like you were forced to evolve. But evolve, it feels like, is exactly what you're doing. So I don't mind seeing this tower here because what it's eliminating is the Seven of Swords. And it's sitting next to the wheel. So it's almost like telling you that, maybe this just isn't your forevermore. And, I know so far some of the reading seems difficult, but I want you to notice how, as you change the energy feels like, number one, it feels like you are evolving. And as you evolve, so will the energy around you. Even going through like the dark night of the soul. Don't regret it because I feel like it's exactly what has you seeking the light. And the light you shall find. Let's not forget, we have miracle, we have trust, we have the Page of Swords, under the Six of Swords, mirroring the Tower, next to the Tower. Could be a person, could be an air sign. Um, but you know how I felt like immaturity? Could be some immaturity within how someone speaks. We have the Palace of Pentacles. Beautiful. This kind of feels like where the miracle's starting to enter. I feel like the Palace is energy we're really shooting for. Like, can I reach this? Well, the answer is yes. And how do I love that it's mirroring the Hermit? Definitely the House of Abundance. But it's so much more. That's the thing, it's so much more. Can I reach it? Some of you, you're taking your own experiences and you're using them, but in a proactive way. Okay, we had those cards flip around. So we have the Two of Swords mirroring the wheel in reverse. It's almost like you're asking, do I have the right? Like you're asking permission. Two swords can be blocking an opportunity. That may be exactly why I asked you to pay attention to numbers. Um, because some of you, these numbers are going to give you real clarity. And remember, like they're coming from your angels. Can I reach this Palace of Pentacles? I feel like I already know you can, but you have to know that. This is wearing a blindfold. You just may be something I don't want to face. All right, well, beautiful. Four of Swords healing. And then, whoa, whoa, whoa. Hello, Palace of Wands. So we have the Palace of Pentacles and the Palace of Wands. Wow. And healing coming before that. So these towers, whatever was toxic, whoever was carried untrustworthy energy, if you felt stuck, you know, number one in the Two of Swords, I feel like you got to rip off that blindfold, face the facts, because this is about real movement. This is about really freeing yourself, and sometimes it can just be your thoughts. Palace of Pentacles and the Palace of Wands. See who's on the bottom of the deck. Three of Wands. Optimism. Three of Wands is all about living in the present. This reminds me of a song. Sitting on the dock of the bay, watching time but this is living in the present moment. This is trusting. Exactly what Mother Mary sent out. Trusting that your miracles will come in, and they come in their divine time. But it is a change of energy. So being optimistic, putting those intentions out there, but then also being willing to take action behind it. Remember, actions speak louder than words. This month, your gestures. I don't feel like this was easy because I do feel like you needed this healing, but it's exactly what you're receiving if you so allow. And what I mean by that is, you have to be very honest with yourself first and foremost. And I don't like saying that, this commitment doesn't seem to be your forevermore person. Now, I know that's not for everyone, but I do know it's for some because I feel it. Not just see it, but I feel it. All right, let's bring out the Gilded Tarot and let's go over this. It's interesting because the two places I felt you were going to have, I don't know if it's the most change, but the opportunity to really evolve in was within your emotional house. Well, Page of Wands, I mean the Palace of Wands, passion, action oriented. Again, actions speak louder than words. And then the Page of Pentacles, like where I felt like the spotlight was on you. But I have a feeling like you're not alone in this energy. If you so choose. And I'm also feeling that it's important to visualize yourself living the type of life you want to live. Like, see yourself happy, see yourself connected. You know, it doesn't even have to mean you have anyone in mind. Just see yourself happy. The more you can put yourself in that optimistic state, because you are trusting in divine timing, it really fits with what Mother Mary sent out. All right. I'm thinking, did I shuffle? Let's give him one shuffle. Let's give him a cut. Eight of Swords. Well, that's that energy of feeling stuck. And, unfortunately, it is coming over the Four of Wands, which is my favorite love card. But sometimes, sometimes things just don't work out because this is definitely a self created prison. And it makes sense where you can definitely see this person in this cage, and it's illusionary that they feel stuck because that door is wide open. You know, because it's self created, you're the only one who can uncreate it. And then it really is a sense of freedom, freedom to be you, to do you. Like, will you allow yourself this new beginning? Ah, Ten of Swords over this Seven of Swords. Holy shit. Excuse my language, but the King of Pentacles over the Six of Swords. Well, that makes sense. And then we have the Chariot over your major arcana. And then we have the Emperor over the Page of Cups. Okay, so let's look at this for a second. Number one, the Ten of Swords coming over the Seven of Swords. You may have given someone multiple chances, multiple opportunities, but it doesn't feel like it worked out in your favor because in the Ten of Swords, all the daggers are in your back. All the daggers are in your back. So I understand the Eight of Swords, right? Like, I don't want any more daggers. And I feel like the Tower may be, in a way, I feel like it might be the only answer. Could, let's say this couple, could they have a discussion and evolve? Of course they could. But man, do I feel like this energy is just reading so difficult. And the Emperor mirroring the Eight of Swords. The Emperor is card of Aries, by the way. But, I feel like it's asking you to ask yourself, are there some dreams, the way that you'd like to see your life, or even like the type of person you want to be with? Are you? Or are you just in this lower vibrational energy because someone else is in it? It's almost like I'm playing their game. But I get the sense of enough is enough. I love the Chariot coming right over your major arcana. Not that I love the fact that I feel some of you are, you know, letting someone go, but I would say that you've given them plenty of time, plenty of choices, chances, and it's showing you moving on, letting all those swords be behind you, not in front of you. Even this healing, wow, I feel like you do need it because it doesn't feel easy, but I'm also seeing the potential, right? These palaces, I feel like, is where you can see yourself, but you got to know that it can happen, right? But what is in my way? And I'm saying in my way, but what I really want to say, because I do feel that chances are I wanted something to work out. It reminds me of when I got married. And very quickly, it just kind of went to hell in a handbag. But I did take it for 8 years. So the Ten of Swords, I know that. I know that energy. But I do feel like, even in the Ten of Swords, I feel like the day comes where it's like, okay, I just can't keep doing this. When I think of the Emperor, I think of someone I can look up to. I think of someone who definitely has their spirituality intact. And one of the main reasons is because they are very compassionate and empathetic, wise, feels good helping those who need a helping hand. But the Emperor knows who to help and who not to help. Like I don't want to help those who are just going to take advantage of my help. but I'm even reading it as you evolving. And there could be certain dreams that just haven't manifested for you yet, but it could be because of energy, let's just say you're surrounding yourself with, or were. Some of you, you've already moved past this energy. Hmm. Okay, let's keep going. I want to see why the wheel's in reverse, though. I already know why. Oh my gosh. Look what just flipped itself around, the Nine of Cups. In reverse, though. So the Nine of Cups is inner harmony and fulfillment of wishes. And Mother Mary's like, we got a miracle here for you. But it came in reverse. Some of you may be afraid of being single. But then I want to remind you of just the energetic energy that's available to you, just starting in June. So some of you don't have that inner harmony. And that makes sense because the Eight of Swords is right above it. Nine of Cups to me is freedom. It can even be singular. But man, it feels like, again, something's stopping the wheel from moving. And I feel like it's the Eight of Swords. Okay. Cards in the upright. So and that one flipped itself around right in front of us. So it feels like inner harmony can be yours, right? These palaces can be yours, but there feels like there's some human action that has to be taken. The Eight of Swords can be your thoughts. Hello, Knight of Pentacles, over healing and the Tower, guardian angel energy, and the High Priestess. So the Knight of Pentacles, the first message is patience. This Knight tells you, I come at the right time. When the timing is right, I come in. He's looking right back over at the reversal of the Nine of Cups and the Wheel in a reverse, coming over the Tower, but healing. So, whatever this energy is up here, if you decide that you're done and you do free yourself and you uncreate this prison, I feel like healing will just naturally happen. And the Knight of Pentacles, well, I feel like it's carrying your miracle. It's almost like your guardian angel is saying, yes, we may have sent in this tower, but it was for your benefit. We see this repeat pattern. We see that it's hard for you to move beyond it. So we want to help you. And again, they're reaching you through your intuition. If I can't reach you during the day, then I'm going to reach you at night. If I can't reach you at night, I'm going to reach you in your dreams. But somehow, some way, I'm going to reach you. There's no way this night would come in if I'm still in this self-created prison, if I'm still allowing these swords in my back over and over again, if I don't realize that I can set myself free, even if temporarily it may feel a little difficult, but it really is. Six of Swords is really the promise of moving to calmer waters. This knight is looking right back, though, at that reversal of the Nine of Cups and the reversal of the wheel. We have the Four of Pentacles over the Palace of Pentacles. There we go. Five of Swords over the Two of Swords. And then the Tower again. Wow. But over here, there's something or someone who's stopping what I feel like could be true happiness from entering. Now, I have to say this, but I feel like you have a lot of power here, or you have the opportunity to free yourself. And when I say free yourself, it doesn't always have to mean that you're moving away, but at least your thoughts. You're saying, I'm not stuck. I don't have to accept this. Because this toxicity is what's taking away your inner harmony. It's that wedge in the wheel. And I feel like this tower, again, it's like your guide just saying, you have to use this tower to turn this Nine of Cups and the wheel around. That's your power to use this tower. Free your thoughts. Trust your intuition. And I feel free yourself and just watch what happens. All right. I'm going to go right underneath since we already have the tower underneath there. You know, right now, the Knight of Pentacles, guardian angel energy, is mirroring the Chariot. You know, the Knight of Pentacles tells you, I'm bringing a pentacle into your life. This pentacle means it's coming into your physical world. It's truly meant to enhance your life in the best ways possible. I feel like this Knight is carrying your miracle. You need to trust that. You know, the Three of Wands on the bottom of the deck versus all these swords on the table. What a difference in energy. Two of Pentacles in reverse. So I feel like you're making a decision. You know, this is one of those readings where it's difficult, for sure. But I'm hoping that you can see the silver lining in it. Because I can see it. But I'm not going to lie and say that it's easy. But sometimes the best things aren't that easy. All right, Five of Wands. Dang it, mirroring the Tower. Seven of Swords again. And Judgment. Man, Judgment is your spiritual team. And they're coming with a message. They're calling you to the current energy, the current moment, just like the Three of Wands. This is about receiving signs, and it's mirroring your intuition. I feel like your spiritual team wants you to reflect upon the things that feel very difficult. And what can I do about it? What changes can I make? Because I feel like it's all about the changes you make. And I also love that your spiritual team is like, we're right here beside you. I know some of you are making that decision where you are saying no more. And even the Five of Wands and the Seven of Swords coming out. Five of Wands is fighting a lot of ego, and it's mirroring the Tower. You may be questioned, like, where you been? What are you doing? Who you talking to? Blah, blah, you know. Now, it can go both ways. I want to let you know that. But it feels like your spiritual team is like, use that tower, take out that wedge, let the wheels spin again. Close the door. First of all, realize you're not stuck. And don't even look at this. I mean, it does seem very difficult, to be honest. But at the same time, I feel like this could be like a major lesson, like how to free yourself from energy that, I don't know. I don't know how there could be love in that home. I feel it's the opposite. And I feel like your spiritual team is like backing me up on that. Simply what is taking away your inner harmony? Because here's the opportunity to have that inner harmony and to have fulfillment of wishes. So it's not just blocking this inner harmony, it feels like it's also the blocking of wishes. Why can't I get it? Why can't my wishes come true? Well, because there's some very heavy energy that you're dealing with. And this night comes at the right time. It would make no sense that this night come during the Ten of Swords, the Seven of Swords, the Eight of Swords, but the Six of Swords, yes, because this is you taking human action. This is you freeing yourself. I feel like for some of you, you may have a question like, can this work out? Even though I did say there is an opportunity for existing relationships to strengthen, but sometimes I feel like we end up with the wrong person. There's something that just doesn't feel right between you and this other person. And intuitively, I feel you must feel this. Hmm. I feel like that blindfold of the Two of Swords, that's what I got to take off. I just got to look at my life, face the truth, then make some real decisions. If you don't have inner harmony, you do have the opportunity to find it, but it has to come through your human action. I don't see any way around it. But I feel like as soon as you, like, let's just say, reclaim yourself, reclaim your power, um, find that inner harmony, well, I feel like the wedge of the wheel is lifted. The Knight of Pentacles enters. Healing is right below it. And then the Two of Pentacles feels in reverse, feels like you have made that ultimate decision. I don't feel like anything gets better here. And, I'm sorry if some of you, of course, I want you to listen to your own intuition. Yet, in the Ten of Swords, again, if you feel like you are the one receiving dagger after dagger in your back, and it's coming from untrustworthy energy, like, really think about that. You may feel stuck, but you're not stuck. It just takes human action. I feel like nothing will change. Everything will remain the same. Daggers will keep coming. But that is not, it doesn't feel like this is how this chapter was written. This could be one big karmic lesson. But your guardian angel is really driving the ship here. All right. I think what I want to do is I want to look at the reversal of the Nine of Cups with the reversal of the Wheel. It's moving into the Knight of Pentacles. And remember, that Tower is there also. So between this Knight of Pentacles and the change that it brings, in this lack of inner harmony, I kind of want to know what changes. Nine of Swords, worry. Worry. Some of you, the worry is the uncertainty of what the future will hold. You know, maybe you're in a committed relationship where you share, like, you each put your paychecks together and thought of living with half is something I would have to face. This is about unnecessary worry, though. That is the meaning of the card. And that is what's taking away your inner harmony. It's like your guardian angel is saying, you're putting all this worry, and listen, it's not that it doesn't make sense that you have this worry, but what are you going to do about it? That sounded mean. I didn't mean it mean. We have the Queen of Wands and the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands, when I think about it, I bring about, wow, I do not want the Nine of Swords to be part of that, right? Because what am I bringing back? More worry, more daggers in my back. That's why the Nine of Swords says this is unnecessary. We get it. We understand it. But yet, it's still unnecessary. And then you look at the Queen of Wands. Well, to me, she's the Queen of Action. This is someone who moves according to her desires. You know, it can be a fire sign, but I'm just reading it as her energy, to be honest. This would be my Queen of Action. Maybe that's what your guides wanted you to hear. Like, truly what you think about, you bring about. And if you're in a state of worry, it just keeps manifesting. And maybe if I could turn around, it feels like right now it feels hard to find things to be optimistic about. But you have a lot of power in here. This is you deciding, like, have I had enough? Or am I going to take more? Do I want change? Or is change off the board? And if it is, why? A lot of people fear change. And the moon can certainly represent that, right? Uncertainties. But yet, I feel like everything inside me is like that wheel wants to spin. All right. What just came out? Holy cow. Seven of Pentacles. That tells me that you may have been, this may be one big karmic lesson. Because I feel like when the Seven of Pentacles comes out, everything that's happened to this point was meant to happen. But this is about new seeds. The Knight of Pentacles right there. It's telling you there may be a seed that's coming to fruition, but it can't coexist with this energy. It can't coexist. It's got to be one or the other, is what it feels like. Justice, cutting ties, rebalancing. Eight of Pentacles, Four of Swords again. If you had to worry about your money, I feel like this is healing over your money. Now you have healing over the mind, healing really over your whole life. But I also feel like healing over your money because I did feel that like, well, I have to take a financial hit. You may, but yet everything it's replaced with, inner harmony, fulfillment of wishes, the wheel starts moving. Judgment talks about signs coming in, guidance, like trust with us, trust within us. Then we have the Page of Swords again. Healing of the voice of one's truth. I mean, it's kind of interesting that the Four Swords is over the Knight of Pentacles, and the Four Swords is right below the Knight of Pentacles. So it's like healing again of well, probably everything in your life. It feels like a difficult transit, but at the same time, well, at the same time, I see the other side of the coin, as does your guardian angel, as does your spiritual team. It's almost like they're saying you deserve someone better, someone a lot more like you. You know, Karma and the paying back of karma. It's usually not easy. But, I'm going to be real because what I'm feeling is there could have been a past life, could have even been in this life, where you're now experiencing something that you had someone else experience. You know what I mean? Like you were the one putting daggers in someone's back. And that's what karma is. Karma is feeling what others felt due to our own actions. But once you have that realization and it's like, okay, I get it. Then it's the clearing of karma. And let's not forget these two palaces down here in this miracle. But my God, I can't help but feel like without change, it feels everything is like kind of held in place. Again, the last year of this 9-year cycle. This is a year to decide clearly what you want. Because we're moving into the year of the magician, and that's going to be a powerful energy. Powerful energy to be you and to manifest your dreams. Um, why do I want to bring this energy along? Why would I want to bring it along? Now, that is a personal choice, but holy shit. All right, I feel like I want to pick all these extras up. And I just want to look at the Six of Swords because this is you moving on. And I can't say that I've ever been happier in a reading to see this because everything is telling me that you're making the right move here. Now, it doesn't always mean physical, like I'm making a physical move, but you're no longer allowing daggers in your back. Those who are being toxic with you, whether it be through communication, Five of Wands, a lot of fighting, a lot of ego. I feel like the only thing you can do within the Five of Wands energy is leave it because it's easy to get pulled into it. And it is a lower vibrational energy. It's actually a human energy, ego. Everybody wants to be right here. And nobody backs down. So what am I going to do? I got to learn not to get pulled into it. All right. So, Six of Swords. That's what we were looking at. Six of Pentacles. That's that fine art of give and take. Whoa. Okay. Gonna take that. I'm gonna pick these up because there's just too many. Oh, look at this. The Knight of Cups. Unexpected couple fulfillment being met by the Knight of Swords. It's like they're communicating. What are you heading towards? It feels like love, but you just don't know it yet. And boy, do I love that the Six of Pentacles came out before that. I feel like the Six of Pentacles is twofold. Number one, I feel like things here have been unbalanced. There was a giver and there was a receiver. It wasn't an equal. We saw justice where it talks about you being balanced. So this Knight of Cups, an unexpected couple fulfillment. And then met by the Knight of Swords, they're looking at each other. Someone may proclaim their feelings. I don't know. High Priestess right in between that. But I want to go right below it. Of course, I want to know more about the Knight of Cups. Well, there you are again. Maybe you're proclaiming, I don't know. Maybe there's someone on your mind that you decide to reach out and communicate with, on an emotional level. We have the Three of Swords. Well, hello, lovers. Wow. And then hello, Star. Your dreams, your wishes. We're here, they're blocked. The Six of Swords, it's telling us it's unlocking the destiny, your destiny. This Knight of Cups, this unexpected, maybe just, and I feel like it's after the fact, but it feels like you're falling in love. I don't feel like you're whole, but I feel it's okay that you're not whole. You know how I felt here, where I may have thought that this was my forevermore person? Now I feel, well, honestly, this is your forevermore person. So the lovers, first of all, it's card of Gemini. The meaning is a head over heart decision. I could see that. But this communication, I'm wondering if it's you making this communication or if someone else is making it to you. This is about bringing these dreams these wishes to your reality. My God, when I said that action was going to be more important than words, now I completely understand it because it's your action that's changing your life if you so choose. Maybe you fear, I don't know, like maybe there's a part of you that fears giving all of yourself to another. But I also feel that if this Knight of Cups is talking about you potentially falling in love, because again, I feel like the love here is kind of drained away. And I don't feel like this, again, was meant to be forever. This kind of feels like what was meant because it's connected to your dreams. And there you are. We're connected right to the star. Remember, what we're looking at is the Six of Swords. So after you make that decision to just, let's just say, clear the toxicity, however you decide to do it, then it feels like, well, here comes your miracle. For some of you, it's a person. But I shouldn't just say it's a person because I feel like it is number one, this is chemistry. The lovers is chemistry. There's no denying that. Yes, the meaning is ahead of a hard decision, but the chemistry is undeniable. And this star, your dreams, it's almost like once this wheel turns around, once you find this inner harmony, and it may just be the beginning, the rest seems to just open up. Remember, this Knight of Cups is unexpected, but because it's so close to the Knight of Swords, some of you may already know. All right. Um, wow. I think I want to follow the star for a second. And this is us now moving forward. This is with the wheel now moving. Look at that. And the wheel is in the upright. Hello. The Queen of Cups. Scorpio, Cancer, Virgo. Virgo. Cancer, Scorpio, um, Pisces. Jeez. And then look at this. The Ace of Wands. Inspired action. Passion ignited. This wheel is reversed for this, but it's in the upright for this. And the Ace of Wands is your spiritual team helping to guide you, helping to show you the truth, right? Again, action. This is about action. But this is like feeling very clear about which direction you want to go. You know, this wheel has turned around and it's connecting right to your stars. And whoever the Queen of or the Queen of Cups is, with the lovers right above it. You know, I feel like saying sometimes we have to realize we have a right to live a happy life. We have a right to say that this is too much. I don't want this anymore. Sometimes we don't want to hurt others, even though they're hurting us. So we stay. And I feel like your spiritual team is saying there will be no change. It is up to you. But if you decide that, it just feels like, even though I said I felt like relationships can heal, man, it does not feel like this one. This one, well, watch out. Why? Because there's natural chemistry. It just is. And even if we think of the Hermit as the final year of this 9-year cycle, so we have to think about, what do we want next? The wheel is moving you into, it's moving you out of the dark night of the soul. It's giving you the clarity and the light you were seeking. It's always been within you. You just needed to be very honest with yourself. If you want more or you want better, you got to do better. And I don't mean that you're not doing things, but what I mean is there feels a sense of, know what you want, and then don't be afraid of going after it. I feel like you've tried everything you could, or at least it feels that way. But maybe I ended up with the wrong person. It's not the end of the world. Because even giving the tower to this person, I'm telling you, then they will go find their right person also. But there feels like there's a lot of arguing and tension and backstabbing and untrustworthiness, and I could go on and on. I'm not going to say there wasn't love. There could even still be a little love, but I honestly, I feel like it's a big karmic lesson. But if no wonder Mother Mary sent out a miracle, if it's a big karmic lesson and you're able to reclaim your power and yourself, well, then you deserve this miracle. And here it is. And I don't feel like the star is just talking about love, but I feel like what it definitely is showing. Sometimes we stay with someone because we think, well, that'll be it. There's nothing else out there. And it's not that you even have to put those intentions out there of looking for love. First, what you're really doing is just saying no more to what's already happening. Knight of Cups, it's unexpected. You may just find yourself falling in love. You might not have planned it, but it feels like it's just going to happen. Now, it is after the fact, because if I stay, everything remains the same. What a reading, Capricorn. What you gonna do? I mean, I know let's just say we took like our human mind out of this situation, then you already know. And listen, these are for the ones that are in this type of situation. If you're not in this situation, then, it could be totally different for you. Not every reading is for every person, but there's usually some type of message in there for everyone anyone who's clicked on here. There's a reason, and I trust that. Your actions are what's changing your life. That wedge in the wheel is being lifted, but it's because of you. And I do feel like sometimes we just have to stop and ask ourselves, am I living life with all it has to offer? Or am I living in a fear based energy? Like afraid to go after something because maybe I don't know how it's going to turn out. Well, I feel like that's where your spiritual team has your back. They want to guide you. And again, how I talked about numbers. Numbers may be a big clue for you. Okay, I am just going to cross the middle of this reading. We have the Page of Cups again. That can be your inner child. But, a page can talk about what's in the atmosphere. And Cups would be of an emotional nature. He's looking right at the Knight of Cups. Let's take what's face up first. Six of Swords. Moving on. Four of Cups. Interesting, because in the Four of Cups, it tells you that there's discontentment or boredom within your emotional life. But in the Four of Cups, there is literally a cup coming in. And it's about using your spiritual discernment. Should I? Could I? Will it? Well, try it out. Coming from the hand of divine, the Hangman, and then hello, Knight of Pentacles, showing what it brings in the Ace of Pentacles. And the Ace of Pentacles is meant to enhance your life. The Four of Cups, I feel like, is enhancing your emotional life. It just simply feels like I made a commitment with the wrong person. Now, it can be the other way around. I'm just going to say that. But there's definitely discontentment. And it just feels like there's only one answer here, and that is to put this toxicity behind me. And then the Ace of Pentacles comes out. Listen, this Ace of Pentacles, I feel like, is moving you, not just the Ace of Pentacles, but the Wheel, the Lovers. I feel like it's what's moving you into these two palaces, right? What I really would like, trust, miracle, but human action. Take it, see where it leads you. This Knight of Cups, unexpected, but you have guardian angel energy, your spiritual team, even your angels. Like, there must be something big that they want you to notice. And for some of you, it's just to live life like happy. Wow. Okay. I'm going to leave that be, but I'm going to bring out the clarifying love situations. Capricorn. All right, we're going to take them how they came out, and I'll show you why. We'll start with this one, because depending on which direction they come out, there's a different message. Yours came out this way. Flickering passion, feelings come and go, or the chemistry is not there. Feelings come and go, or the chemistry is not there. Well, that's what I'm talking about down here because this is full of chemistry. It has to be talking about up there. We have trusted ties, build rapport, believe in mutual respect, and respond with understanding. Truths unveiling. Confront issues with honesty, revealing secrets to light the way forward. Capricorn. Confront issues with honesty, revealing secrets to light the way forward. Wow. All right, let's go ahead and bring in the romance angels. You know, a lot of this is free will, even if it's a karmic lesson. Like, it's your lesson to learn. Your guides can't make you learn it. They definitely put it in front of you. Um, you know, it could have started as free will, but maybe that's how your soul wanted it. You know, if you remember that you're a spiritual being, there's really nothing you cannot overcome. It's when we just feel that human part of us. We don't feel our spiritual team. We're not trusting our intuition. That's when we feel stuck. You know, it's interesting because I put a post out right before this, and it was about, I can't remember exactly what it said, but, and I put like, this was me. This is me in my life, where a woman is leaving a relationship, nothing is said, um, no fighting. She just goes. She just goes because that's what she's feeling. Hmm. It was much more than that. But I thought about that. I was like, well, that's been me, like in my life, where, you know, if there's been like real unsatisfaction, many times I would just pick up and go. Let your friends help you. Ask for and accept support from others. Let your friends help you. Let go of control issues. Allow this situation to unfold naturally. I feel like it's talking from the moment of movement to when these knights enter. This Ace of Pentacles comes in. I feel like it's talking about the lovers and who is connected to the wheel in the upright versus the wheel in reverse over the Four of Wands. Now it's in the upright, connected to the lovers and the Ace of Pentacles and this Queen, and even the Four of Wands, where there is a cup coming in. So you're just kind of going with the flow. Allow the situation to unfold naturally. Why? Because your spiritual team has your back. You know, I have a feeling that for those who are relating to this reading, and you do make that final move, I have a feeling there's going to be celebration in the heavens over you. Like, look at her go. Look at him go. Like, they get it. They hurt us. But it's really you. Well, it's them too. All right, let's see if anything else wants to come out, and then I think I'll let it be. This was difficult, a difficult reading. Um, but this is a reading where you want to find that silver lining because there is this beautiful silver lining here. This miracle, you know, it's for real and trusting it. But nothing will happen if you decide not to do anything, right? If you just accept that this is the way my life is going to be, but you're very unhappy, well, then that might just be the way your life is going to be. Calling in your soulmate, your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. Now, here's what I feel is a true soulmate. Finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. Some of you may be hanging around for that exact reason. I felt that in there. Like, part of it may be, we put our money together and it's going to affect me on a financial level. But let me tell you, I feel like you're going to rebound, um, probably tenfold, because when you have inner harmony, it is telling you that these wishes, this star, that they will come true. But it does need your human action. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. I wish I could tell you there was, but the truth is, this human action, I feel like, is going to put so much power within you. You have every right to go after or to go towards a life that you see for yourself. Again, soulmate, your prayers, affirmations, Three of Wands, that's what I'm doing. Eight of Wands, which is somewhere in this mix, right? Those are your intentions being sent out to the universe. And remember, it works both ways. Remember how we saw the Nine of Swords? Well, if I'm manifesting from the Nine of Swords, I'm just bringing more reasons back to worry. But if I'm manifesting from the energy of believing that all is possible, but knowing that I also have to be willing to take the human action, anything you lose, you're going to rebound tenfold. I already feel that. And if this is new love, just let it be. Let it unfold. Don't try to control it. You know, it definitely feels like love, but it feels, again, how this love has the wheel in the upright and this one has the wheel in reverse. Okay, I'm starting to repeat myself. But can I say also with the Emperor here and finances and career, this may be exactly what causes you to do something that you've always wanted to do. This could be business ownership, but maybe you haven't felt it was the right time because you were dealing with so much, right? You didn't have that clear mind. But again, I know that the spotlight's going to be on you. Man, I'm telling you, of all the readings I have done for June, I hope that you take serious the energy of this universal year 9 because it's just asking you to ask yourself, what is it you want your life to be like? Do you want change? That hermit seeks the light and finds the light. It is illuminating your intuition. Will you trust that? I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of free will in this reading, but there's also a lot of divine energy in this reading. So I'm going to let that be. Oh, I'm not even sure what to name this. You know, yeah, I'm thinking to myself, for those who watch the first 20 minutes, they're going to think this is just a bad, negative. But the silver linings all through the reading. Really, it's all through the reading. Like this miracle, it's meant to happen. But it can't happen without you taking that first step. And maybe that's all it is, one step forward. Because allow the situation to unfold naturally. It feels like Your guides will help take care of the rest. Pay attention to numbers this month. Really, always, but especially this month because I feel like there's going to be special messages for you. Now, when you type in like angel number 333, you could get some different answers. What I do is, you know, I'll look at a few different things and then let what I feel come to me. Like what my team is trying to tell me. All right, gonna let that be. I love you guys. I thank you. I hope the majority of you are moving more towards this miracle and less towards the swords in your back. I hope you are, you know, allowing yourself to live a happy life, but understanding at the same time that you have to be very honest with yourself. And I just feel like the rest will follow. All right. I love you. I thank you. I'll see you next time at our table. I cannot wait to hear your comments. I just can't wait to. I already know some may not be happy. But I feel like, again, be very honest with yourself. All right. I'm not going to put any blah, blah, blah on it. I love you. See you next time. Bye bye.